the Labour Party candidate for the Ugwu North Senatorial District. For the 2023 polls, Ernest I Ugwu says he was not in the party to facilitate the realization of Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi's senatorial bid. His reaction is coming on the heels of allegations that he received monies from Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi to ensure that no other candidate emerged under Labour Party to challenge the governor in his bid to represent the district at the National Assembly when his tenure runs out into 2023. Ernest Ugwu also says he's the authentic candidate of Labour Party for the post, despite stiff opposition by Ezia, who's also claiming the position. So good to have you join us. Now let's talk about this issue. Why is it that you're being accused of being a placeholder candidate, and when it was time for you to step down and those who claim to be the rightful owners of the ticket, you refused? Tell us why this controversy is brewing.
Honestly, it beats my imagination. I think I need to tell you a little bit of the story of how my journey in Labour Party started. Started back then in 2011. I have a relationship with Mr. P2B. I am not in Labour.
The presidential candidate of the
presidential candidate of the party. I worked for him to reform education in Anambra, and that's what got me into educational business. And I opened school in 2016, and I've been following him. I am not in Labour Party because it's Labour Party. I am in Labour Party because of the human being who is driving the change. So I have said this thing that Nigeria don't need to change system. What they need to change is the people who are driving the change. So I don't know how somebody will think about that. It's just like what Chimamanda Adichie said in the Germany, where he was talking to them that they should return what they have stolen from us, not because you can't go to somebody's house and take his car by force and say he can't take care of the car he bought by himself. So that's what it looked for me like, because the people, I don't know who is the rightful owner of the party or owner of the ticket, as you said it, but as at the time, it is in record, I convened the whole delegate for P2B's election to Asaba from Enugu State. With my car, I convened all of them. I wasn't a delegate. But when Peter saw me, he said, thank God you are here. Come in. You are not a delegate, but you are going to sit with me. The station was there. I was sitting right beside him, not far. So after all these things, I rallied around to mobilize candidates for Peter. Nobody wants to take this position. I first of all went for House of Rep. But at the long run, when I didn't see anybody to challenge the governor, they were all running. I took it. I contested the primary. I won. And I won unopposed. It's not like I had somebody who came second. So, of course, I begin to wonder. Because I kept hearing rumor that somebody is the candidate.
Yeah, I mean, Ezia. And what they are saying is actually that you don't have the capacity to defeat a Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi. And so, as a result of that, they think you should be able to stay aside and get people who have the capacity in terms of finance, in terms of political knowledge, to be able to fly the flag of the Labour Party, which is becoming the beautiful bride because of the entrance of Peter Obi. Tell us that.
Thank you so much. I love this one you said. And I will answer it in two ways. Number one is somebody saying that I don't have capacity. And I begin to imagine, is it my capacity that will win the election with money? Do we win election now with money? The new mantra in Labour Party is about what you have done. And I've said it in several places. Check my record in the private school. This is the first time Enugu State is coming first in WAEC. I am not the commissioner, but go and verify from the commissioner my contribution. I have been retraining and training teachers from 2019, which formed the training I had in March 1st, that P2B was the keynote speaker. When he was still
you are the chairman
of all the private school. Yeah, so I'm in Labour Party I am a landlord.
Do you think that's enough to be able to give you political clout when you are facing a sitting governor?
What am I facing sitting governor with? What is P2B facing the sitting president with? He's facing the sitting president with a president with credibility and track record. And that is the mantra of Labour Party.
You think that's enough in the local politics that goes on in Enugu State?
If it is enough for P2B, why is it not enough for me? If it's enough for P2B, why is it not enough for me? And I want to ask you, it's the masses that will choose who will lead them. And the other segment of the question that you ask is about, if I look for everybody to come and contest the election, and they refuse, and I contested and won, and nobody came to me and asked me, give me this ticket, you went ahead and forged my withdrawal letter.
Yeah, I mean, tell us about that, because I mean, we are reading about that. That's what they accuse you, that you actually withdrew from this seat.
You see,
that's why Ezia had to come.
This is where they signed a signature. This is not my signature. I'll show you my correct signature. And this particular signature they signed here for my withdrawal. I got this in from court because they never approached me. This signature you see they signed here for me is the
same. Are you saying that's a forged signature?
A forged signature. This signature is the signature that I received letter for Labour Party in their as admin secretary. The same signature, you can see it. So I am Ugwu Ernest. I am also admin secretary for the Labour Party. If you come to the affidavit, you still see that it's the same signature that signed the affidavit. And to make the matter worse, if you look at this thing, is a letter written to me by the Federal FCT High Court.
Yeah.
What did they write? I asked them. I didn't know when I came here to do affidavit. Give me certified true copy of my affidavit. Let me know whether I did this thing in the dream. And they wrote to me that, see, man, we didn't see you, and there was no record like that.
So that is also a forged document.
Let me ask you, if, for instance, that I don't even have capacity to run, are we now going to send somebody who has capacity to forge my withdrawal without my consent? The first time I met with this man they are talking about was around 31st of, he came to my father's burial on 23rd of July. But this forged document... 2022. But this forged document is bearing on 15th of July, which means they had already finished forging before I even set my eyes for the first time on him.
The fears of the Labour Party chieftains in Enugu North is that you don't have a capacity to displace Governor Ifeanyi Ogunanyi, and there are also talks about you being sponsored by him to just be a placeholder, sort of, because you think you don't have the capacity, and as long as he puts you there, at least you help him to shield that place so that he doesn't have strong opposition to his senatorial ambition.
Let me ask you. It's just like what I quoted this woman saying, that is Chimamanda Adichie. The Germans came to Nigeria, according to her, took all our cultures, the Ikenga, the cheese, and we asking them, give us our Ikenga, but give us the cheese. They say we wouldn't be able to take care of the Ikengas, which we produce ourselves. How can you be telling me that I can't compete in something that I want, and in something you say it will not work? And I also want to ask you, if actually Ifeanyi did this thing, he must be a magician to know that P2B will emerge as governorship candidate to start campaigning me from 2011 to be pushing me to be staying with P2B. Do you know that the day P2B came to see me in Enugu State, March 1st, no government functionary came except Ikeja, because they believe he was, at that time he was still in PDP, he was against the governor's wish. Do you know that today there are a lot of things happening to private school in Enugu State which is not unconnected to my ambition? Do you know that, or even other things? Is it that
there's a morbid fear that you can actually win the senatorial election?
Go and verify. Even when I contested for chairman of private school, some of the proprietors were saying that this boy is too young, that he was even one of their students in their private school. How can he lead them? But I've won the election, led them more better than any other person.
So it's an issue of age. People don't think that as young as you are, you're strong enough to be able to go to the Senate.
Somebody called me yesterday and was telling me that when he finished reading my profile, he didn't know I was this great. Of course, I'm a board chairman in a renowned ICT company in Nigeria, which a renowned person in Nigeria is my vice chairman. So when the person finished reading about me, do you know what he told me? He said immediately he saw my face. He just said, this one cannot win, that my face looks so, so small. But after reading my capacity, I am the only person who have come in private school education leadership in Enugu State and transform it. Confirm it from any private school in Nigeria, not in Enugu State. They know me as one of the prime chairmen.
Now, why didn't you go for the House of Reps? Because it looks like they are sizing you up and saying that the senatorial position ticket, it must be too huge for you. I mean, you don't have the capacity to be able to, at least if not money, maybe you have the money, but you don't have the political capacity to be able to tackle bigger, politicians like Governor Ifeanyi Ogunanyi.
Let me shock you. Two things. If I had not contested for this election and won the primary, we would have not even have a candidate. Talk more of who you will forge to replace, because you must have a candidate before you substitute. So the Enugu North will celebrate me in due time for being able to even secure it. In some local governments, in some posts in Labour Party, we don't have candidates because nobody agreed to go against the governor. Me that took the horn by the bull, instead of celebrating me, they are muzzling me around. But of course...
And you think the Labour Party has the capacity to win this election and other elections across the country? What gives you that confidence that this Labour Party that you are introducing to your people has the capacity to deliver you as a senatorial...
We are all tired of the system and we want a change. And this is not that kind of change, but a credible change in the sense that people are now well-oriented. I was the first person they did 1 million march for in Enugu State, at Nsukka, not Enugu.
Yeah,
they did 1 million march for me. And it was massive. It was when this thing was coming up, some of them even ran away and went back to PDP because they have believed in me. I have run best election for youth organization in Enugu State. Ask of me. That is called Nsukka Youth General Assembly. I did what is called electronic voting and tested and trusted, and he delivered the best candidate in the name Bro Ekweme. So Nsukka knows me. The only thing that is doing, the only thing youth are waiting for is public.
And you think the people of Nsukka will throw away a sitting governor and embrace you, who is just a young politician coming up?
It's not. I'm not even a politician. If I could win the primary, what makes you think that I wouldn't win the general election? We have the love of the masses. Do you know that I'm the leader of all the private school, 150,000 members in Enugu State?
And they are all political force.
It's a political force
against a PDP that has been in that state for several years, winning elections. Even APC has been finding it very difficult in Enugu State to compete with the PDP.
Step into Enugu. That's even what I told the Labour Party. Step into Enugu and do credibility check. Do you understand? Almost everybody is obedient, and almost everybody is earnestly obedient. For that matter, if you come to Enugu, that's where you hear earnestly obedient. It's for me. Okay. And it is widely everywhere. So where do you judge? It's the masses that are going to select who is going to lead them, not the politicians. Because before now, it is the politicians that select who lead them. But today, the analysis has changed that the masses are going to select who will lead them and will lead them to promised land.
When you win, if you do win, you will be one of the youngest senators in the National Assembly. Tell us, what exactly do you think you can do better if indeed you ever find yourself at the National Assembly?
See, what I have done in NAPS.
Very quickly as you try to...
What I have done in NAPS will tell you what I will do. And let me repeat my usual example. I have said that my way is in ingenuity and creativity. And I gave example that if constituency allowance is 500 million, why must I use it to buy keke? That with 500 million, that I will use 300 million to buy one grader, one tipper, and one roller. And with 200 million, I'm going to be paying salary and diesel to grade the 102 wards in my ward every year, and we'll have at least a graded road. So I'm coming with ingenuity and creativity. This is not time for campaign. When it's time for campaign, we'll give you another analysis. How we recreate, how we use what we have to do what is facing us. I have said it. I'm not part of those people who go and open a shop and say there is no market. I am that one who opened a shop in a very dry place and brings market.
All right.
Through my innovation and creativity.
Well, Ernest, just before I let you go, are you going to sue for that forgery? Just in 30 seconds. Because you have said that someone forged your signature and all of that. Do you intend to sue? Yes,
the matter is in the court already. That's why I didn't go into detail. Okay. But one good news is that I just wrote to my party, my national chairman, and he's taking decisive action in this. As you can see, I just came from the conference. They didn't invite the so-called Okeza. They invited me because they know that they understand what has happened and we are taking care of it. That's why we are Labour Party. We wouldn't let it out to the public to laugh at us.
Yeah, I wish you well. Well, these are the dynamics that play out in political parties, and I hope you're prepared for it. Yes. We must thank you so much. Ernest Ugwu is the Labour Party senatorial candidate for Enugu North, and you have just shown me evidence that you are the one that's recognized by the national leadership. We must thank you so much, while we also wait to hear from the other party. Well, that's how it's been for this edition of the Arise interview. Do join us again tomorrow from me and the entire team here in Abuja. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. I'm Sam.